So have you ever wondered what's faster, a Honda Civic or a Cessna 150? My friend Jim here is going to deliver this airplane all the way to Indiana. I'm actually going to chase him in that Honda Civic, and we're going to follow the I-40 corridor, and we're going to see which one's faster. What's your take, Jimmy? What do you think is going to be faster?
I think it's going to be pretty close.
I can tell you one thing this morning, Jimmy. I have an advantage. You're going to be bucking a pretty good headwind for this first leg. What do you think?
Oh yeah, be slow.
Yeah. Have you looked up the winds yet?
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I could be going backwards.
Sometimes it feels like that when you're in these little airplanes.
Right.
I'll see you in Tucumcari. So we're on the first leg of our journey. Jimmy is in the airplane. He is probably about 8,000 feet. Just looking at these clouds, I don't think he could get any higher than 8,000 feet.
Well, here we go. We're riding along here about 6,000 feet, 40 gallons.
And he's going to have to kind of scooch under him. Got a little bit of a thunderstorm here outside of Kingman, and I'm just zipping along about 80 miles an hour in the old Honda Civic. Kind of thinking about maybe some breakfast. I'm sure Jimmy's thinking about some breakfast, but I hope he took some with him, because it's kind of hard to just pull up to a drive-thru in a Cessna 150.
What I give for a Wendy burger right about now.
So have you ever wondered what it would be like to fly an airplane across the country? I mean, it always seems like a great idea, but then when you start the journey, you're like, this ain't going so good. So little tiny airplanes, they don't do very good in weather. They have a lot of problems when you get near a storm. Let's talk about this little airplane. Cessna 150. It's got 100 horsepower. Continental 0200. It'll fly with exhausted fuel tanks. It'd be 4 hours drop dead in that airplane. That being said, 4 hours you're out of fuel. You got to land that airplane. Legally, you can fly it probably 3.5 hours. Daylight. At nighttime, obviously, you need a little extra fuel on board, legally. So, realistically, with a decent reserve, you probably have almost 3 hours of flight time. That being said, if you're pulling a headwind with 3 hours of flight time, you're not going to make it very far, and you have to stop for fuel. The little Honda Civic here, we're going to do probably 300 miles on a tank of fuel with no problem. And I'm whipping it. Like I'm grabbing gears and passing semi-trucks on every hill. So the Cessna 150 is only going to fly as fast as it'll fly, wide open throttle, and that's what you get. So it should be pretty interesting to see who can make it across the country the fastest, because the Cessna fuel stops are a little more difficult than the Honda Civic fuel stops. Also, flying the Cessna 150, if Jimmy gets into any weather, he's just going to have to land and wait it out. If I get into any weather, I'm just going to turn the wipers on and point it in the interstate direction that I'm headed. You know, if I get really bad weather, you know, I'll probably pull over, but I mean, who's ever really pulled over for bad weather unless it's snowing? So that's where my advantage is going to come in, is when Jimmy hits the weather, and I know he's going to hit weather. We are going through way too many states and way too many little chances of a front, and he's going to have to stop for weather at some point. If he doesn't, he's going to get really lucky. Well, I don't know how Jimmy's faring, but the weather's getting pretty snotty here. I'm going to need wipers here before too long. I'm not even at Flagstaff. We still got to go all the way across the country. Dang.
About 120 miles out of gallon. Pretty good. Just outside of Tucumcari. I doubt Merlon's there yet.
First leg of the trip in Holbrook, Arizona, and it's about 8 a.m. Jimmy should be in Gallup, New Mexico by now. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome to New Mexico. Nothing but a little road construction for 127 miles. This could be where the Cessna outruns me. I think he's in Grants, New Mexico. At least that was the last text I got, that he landed there for fuel and was going to try to eat a sandwich. And I made a quick pit stop in Holbrook, Arizona, and I had me a sandwich, and we're rolling. My goal is to be to probably somewhere in Texas tonight. I think Jimmy is probably going to make Tucumcari, New Mexico, maybe somewhere in Texas. Stay tuned.
Okay, day one, first fuel stop was in Grants, New Mexico. We flew north of Albuquerque's messy Class C airspace. They intercepted our line that we were supposed to be on anyway, and then headed over to Tucumcari, New Mexico for our second fuel stop. Tucumcari, New Mexico. Kind of a desolate place. Okay, day one, second fuel stop, Tucumcari. We head east, staying north of the Amarillo Class C airspace, and all the way over to Elk City Regional, where we stayed the first night. Flight time was 7.9 hours. Out here in Oklahoma. They're getting closer. All right, as you can see there, plane's done pretty well today. We got 9 hours of flying in. We're at Elk City, Oklahoma, and I heard there's a Wendy's nearby, so it's time for a single cheese. You know, I hear Corvettes are back ordered, but only I guess if they're not white. Is that amazing? Things you get to see when you travel.
Oklahoma. Out here with the Okies.
Okay, so day 2, we depart Elk City Regional, head east, turn north over Hinton Municipal, and then we make an unscheduled stop at Cleveland Municipal. Yeah, with any luck, by this time tonight we'll be in Indiana eating Skyline chili. Otherwise, with them reporting moderate VFR, we could be landing down 10 miles from here.
So we're day 2 on our little race across the country. I would say I'm probably going to put a little lead on Jimmy today, but I think we got him off this morning without incident because it was a little bit socked in at the airport. And then the visibility lifted to about 12, well, the ceiling lifted. So the ceiling lifted to about 1,200 foot elevation on this storm, and he was able to get out and get north of it. I'm driving through it right now. I'm approaching Oklahoma City, and it's raining pretty good right through here. The visibility's still good, but the wind's blowing, and this storm is probably going to settle in here and be here for most of the day, so it's pretty good that we got ahead of it. Cats and dogs, cats and dogs. I hope Jimmy got around this because it's ugly right here. I think this guy forgot his rain gear. Getting wet. Well, we're up here in Cleveland. What the hell state is this?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma still? We ain't even to Missouri. And I'm thinking Jimmy lost a voltage regulator, but we're not sure. It might have just been a fuse. Got to check it out. So I caught Jimmy, is what I'm saying.
Weird. Scheduled stop at Cleveland Municipal due to a faulty regulator, and as important as visibility was still VFR, but it was kind of tickling the area of where I'd like to be safe. So we need to make sure we have all our instruments working. So we pulled over, waited for Merlon to show up, and we fixed it and moved on.